Hi, I'm Salseda for LA Police Gear. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about having a light device, illumination device with you if you're going to carry a firearm. And one of the key reasons why is over the years there's enough data out there to show that in most lethal confrontations they occur at night or in low light conditions. So you really need some sort of illumination device. Do you need to shoot, and what are you shooting at, to clearly identify the threat? You can't do that under low light conditions or dark conditions, really dark out there. You can't do that under low light conditions without having some sort of illumination device. If you're looking for a threat and searching, doing it in a search mode, I highly recommend use the handheld light. You can cover much more area with it. Depending on the illumination power, you can cover a large area to some distance with it and clearly identify what's out there, especially whether it's urban. If you're out in the country, rural area, can really broadcast a large white beam a great distance out there. So higher power beam for a higher power beam for outdoor country type. You can also get by with your everyday carry light, your EDC, for all the urban uses to identify threats out there. Very useful to have. And again, you can articulate this light in any direction held in your hand. When we move on to dedicated lights on a handgun, there are some limitations and there are some do's and don'ts. They're maybe limited on power to some extent, especially over a big high-powered version like this LA Police Gear up to 800 lumens. But they provide sufficient amount of lighting for close proximity type incidents. Many of them now are about 300 lumens, plenty of light to do that sort of stuff. But in particular, we have to look at a couple of issues with sort of toggle switch at the end that activates the light. Some of them are also equipped, like this one, with a small laser. You can turn the laser on, off, so on and so forth. But that laser is usually pinpointed directly in the center of that light, the illumination device or the light that you're broadcasting. With that, also has to be coordinated to rear sights, especially if you're using that laser as part of your aiming or your sighting on that threat. This has enough light to illuminate that, but how do you turn this on without creating issues? We know from training experience there's been a number of negative incidents where folks have tried to activate what they thought was a light and unintentionally put their finger on the trigger. You don't want to do that. You don't want to make the mistake of thinking, oh, I'm activating the light, and send a round downrange when it's not needed, it's not necessary, it's not required, and it's definitely not reasonable. So to avoid that, use your support hand, use your support hand thumb, train that support hand thumb to turn that light on and off. And on this one, it's very easy, it's spring loaded, so as soon as I release it, the light goes off. Some of the others, you can activate it to a full-time lock mode, but you've got to switch it all the way in the opposite direction. Figure that out. When you go to a dedicated light, you absolutely have to train with it. Presentation of the pistol is different. You're taking this pistol now, adding this device on the bottom. You're taking this pistol, adding this device on the bottom. You're going to have a different presentation, a different holster. You have to get used to that. Then activating the light, you have to get used to that with the support hand. Again, don't make the mistake of getting in the habit of using your trigger finger. It's easy to do and it works pretty well. But let's go off lessons learned. Do not use that and take the chance of pressing the trigger when you don't intend to. Some of the other lights that do not have laser, very streamlined, again, about that same power range, work really well. Maybe the toggle switch is a little bit different, but one of the reasons you train is to get used to your equipment. One of the things we do least frequently is train at night under low light conditions. When you go to dedicated light, again, you've got to include your training. Would I use both lights in conjunction at the same time? Would I be in the searching mode with the light on my handgun on, light on this on? Probably not. If I've got this dedicated light, I'm going to leave it alone while I'm searching and use this light so I don't confuse myself, my partners, or whoever I'm with, family members, so on, searching inside the house. I'm going to use my handheld if I have a handheld. Otherwise, I'm going to put both hands on the gun, keep control over the gun, use this gun in the searching mode, again, using my thumb and searching where I have to. Handheld gives you a lot of versatility for looking in all directions. Would I necessarily be moving this gun up and over? Again, kind of more for dealing with threats and searching in a linear type pattern. Can search high and low, but again, use primary in a linear type pattern. If you have questions, have some ideas, hit me up at LA Police Gear. Lou Salseda for LA Police Gear. Take care, be safe out there.